With the first pale stroke of dawn over the eastern hills, the world began to burn. Rhy Shen had been dragging himself across the sand for hours beneath the night sky, and now it was taking on the deep purple of dawn. Immunity to heat did not spare Rhy Shen from exhaustion, yet he ground his teeth and pressed on. Every step felt as though fire pulsed through his veins. His feet left no trace behind. The desert swallowed every shallow mark, as if he had never walked there at all.
Good for you that you don't feel any heat, kid. The infinite sands are much deadlier than the Black March forest. They say the sun burns with more violence here than anywhere else.
At least no one can follow me here.
Good, good. If you stop now, you might not reach the ever-dry beach in time. That would be a shame. The wave is returning tonight, and I doubt you could withstand its storms and tides as easily as you withstand fire.
M chuckled like a goat in Rhy Shen's ear.
I'm curious. What made you leave the guild? Thos's arrogant swagger? The smell in that sweat-soaked arena? Or did you actually spare a thought for the putrid mess they're leading you into?
The situation he got himself into seemed not any better. He went straight through the infinite sands, with dunes in every direction.
Maybe a part of me just wanted to scrub Lumen and Immo out of this.
His voice cracked against the dry wind.
Lumen looked miserable, being spat on by her own people. Just for breathing the same air as the fucking guild. She'd just get in trouble for helping me out here, spying on the Aeon fire.
The air thickened with tension as the sun crept higher, and even the desert seemed to listen.
Oh, how noble. So you do believe in the alternative story?
Rhy Shen kicked at the drifting sand ahead of him. This was too familiar.
I've seen a natural, divine Atham source before. They do exist. So, it would be stupid not to consider an Aeon fire. And it would explain why the Juru people are immortal, even with their low cultivation. The way I see it, the moment its existence is uncovered, there will be war. If someone from this Ochintis shithole is already sniffing around, the guild will strip this whole peninsula to find it.
The wind shifted, whispering over the dunes like distant voices.
Let's not pretend this is hero business. You've got 3 choices, kid.
Rhy Shen slowed, listening closely as he tried to keep a straight path through the desert.
First, you could leave the Aeon fire where it is. Let the Juru defend it by themselves. Hope the rest of the world never notices, and pray it doesn't end in an uprising. Like a dumb fish. You could leave all this bullshit behind. Even try to cross the infinite sands. Since you are so profoundly needless and lonely anyway. Go on. Leave another world to die.
M grunted before he unveiled the second option.
Second. Take it to those utterly stupid alchemists. They'll weave it into their sphere technology and launch Sun 2, getting us off this cursed peninsula. Maybe it will be for the greater good, but most likely it will not. Once power like that sits in someone's hands, it devours.
Both options felt unbearable.
I wish I had never learned about the Aeon Fire. Fuck this.
The desert glimmered in a greenish-blue light, strange and lifeless, and for a moment it reminded him of that other place. A faint, uneasy memory, yet heavy enough to make Rhy Shen walk with his head lowered for the rest of his life. When he studied the ground more closely, he noticed fragments scattered among the sand, small, pale pieces that could have been gravel or something more cruel.
There's a third option you probably don't know about. Your mind being by default quite narrow. Bring the Aeon Fire to me, kid. We hide it and bury the problem once and for all. The local world stays in balance, and the alchemists can use their atom farming techniques to launch their sun too, someday in the future. But here's the catch. You'll be lying to everyone you'll ever meet. Forever.
Rhy Shen walked on in silence. Every twitch of his eyelids betrayed the storm raging within him. Thoughts of what he had just heard vibrated with a dissonant hum in his chest. One word, one move, and he would either be the man who buried the Aeon Fire or the one who handed the guild the torch to burn the world down.
People keep telling me shit, making me responsible for knowing. Nothing here is fair.
He longed for even a moment of calm, a fleeting chance to steady himself.
Fuck!
But he could not afford such a luxury. Not now. Not when clarity might weaken the resolve he needed to act. The best he could do was hold back his flickering form from shuddering toward a violent outburst.
Not my fucking... I don't give a fuck.
After a long and patient while of cooling down, the sun still burnt over the desert, and Rhy Shen was still Rhy Shen.
Who in the world do you think you're manipulating here, Em? Huh? Where are you even? On the fucking moon? Why the hell should I trust you with this Aeon Fire? Are you out of your...
Psst. Don't you dare shouting around that you, or anyone, might know about the Aeon Fire. We are getting into huge trouble if someone finds out. Anybody who even believes in the tale is in great danger.
Baked by the sun and maddened by M's constant voice, Rhy Shen tore at his hair, leaving it a chaotic mess.
I am not allowed to speak the word? And how the hell am I supposed to find it then, Em, huh? It's not like we stumble upon it once we get to this twin capital. Or is it?
I'm not your shepherd, kid. That is all your problem. As I said, psst. I hear trouble coming.
A sudden movement caught Rhy Shen's eye. Indeed, someone, or something, in the distance came closer, screaming for his life.
No! Help! I don't deserve to die. It was just 5 minutes more. Only 5 minutes.
M recognized the voice instantly and let out a long, weary sigh.
Oh, hell no. That is a bill.
Slowed by irritation, Rhy Shen blinked at the lizard-like figure approaching.
What is a fucking bill?
Congrats, kid. You are running into your first encounter with a member of the Bill family. They are despicable.
The man came closer, his long tail wobbling left and right in panic.
He looks like he could need help.
He doesn't. You do.
Again, the goat-like chuckle from M rattled through Rhy Shen's head. To Rhy Shen's surprise, the lizard-like man rocketed past him like a comet, leaving just a wormed line and round footsteps in the sand. Before he could make sense of that man, 12 others like him appeared over the dunes, all screaming, all wobbling their tails in fear.
The wave is coming! The wave is coming! The wave!
Oh, Rhy Shen. If your foggy skull would function right, you would run too. Like westward. Now!
Oh, damn. I see.
Rhy Shen bolted forward, his frantic steps barely grazing the sand as an abyssal shadow suddenly blotted out the desert sun. The ground heaved, the wind shrieked, and a tremendous wall-like ocean wave thundered over the dunes, swallowing everything in its path. One of the lizards lunged at Rhy Shen, aiming to sink its claws into him, but they passed harmlessly over his body, sliding off as if he were unassailable.
Don't let me, die!
In an instant, both Rhy Shen and the desperate lizard were swept off their feet. Sand, water, and shards of bone tumbled in a violent torrent, spinning them apart. Rhy Shen struggled to keep himself together, but the force was merciless. He saw the lizard man flailing somewhere nearby, then the undertow tore them both away, and the desert turned into a chaotic ocean torrent, dragging them wherever it pleased. Rhy Shen was dragged through sand and water, torn apart by the relentless wave. His body dissolved into pieces as it did before. As much as he embraced being on fire, he was defenseless against wind and waves.
No.
When he opened his eyes, he found himself at the forest line of a dense, moist woodland. Some of the trees here seemed unbound by the earth. Their roots were sprawling over the treetops of the ordinary leafed trees like grasping fingers.
Where are we? This isn't the Black March Forest.
This forest was unlike the ash-strewn, skeletal woods west of the Guild. It seemed alive, shifting constantly, as if the trees altogether were part of a single, breathing organism. Rhy Shen waited for guidance, but M remained silent.
Hey, old man. I've lost direction, and I'm tired. Where do we go now? M? M!
M's voice was gone. Shadows settled over the forest, thick and swallowing.
M!
The speech bug was gone, and M with it. Alone, Rhy Shen wandered along the edge of the trees, perking up his ears for the pulse of the forest. The gnarled branches overhead clawed at the remaining light, turning the undergrowth into a suffocating, pitch-black maze. This forest followed its own secret pattern.
Actually pretty nice. Not having a damn voice buzzing in my ear for once. I think I like this place.
He listened closely. The chirping of insects, the rustle of leaves, and then there was... A scream cut through the quiet, raw and frantic. Something, or someone, was screaming his lungs out, and the trees gasped in response. Rhy Shen trusted his instincts and moved toward the source of the noise.
What kind of animal is this?
He murmured under his breath, but there was no voice to answer.
Oh, damn. What?
The woods were so obscure and dense that he nearly stumbled into a tiny campfire nestled in a narrow clearing.
There you are.
Rhy Shen understood nothing but a stream of slithering hisses and sharp clicks.
You're the slippy human from earlier, aren't you? Nice to see you alive.
A lizard, bedraggled but unharmed, sat by the smoke, roasting a fish over the flames.
Not familiar with my slang, he? I see. Got something for you.
The lizard stood up to present something from his palm. It was Rhy Shen's speech bug, worn out but still working, just like this mysterious lizard man.
What are you waiting for, man? Take it!
After a moment of doubt, Rhy Shen took the bug and put it back into his ear.
Ouch!
En still stayed silent, but Rhy Shen could hear him chuckle in the distance of his mind. Oh, he was certainly enjoying the show. Wonderful. Showing his best manners, the lizard smoothed its apron and made a respectful bow.
Hello there, you understand me? I was hoping someone would come if I'd call. I was so afraid. I almost lost my tail out there.
With caution, the wide-eyed man grasped its scaled tail, as if to shield it from further harm.
That was your calling? Ugh. It sounded as if you had died.
The lizard-like man only shrugged his shoulders innocently.
Are you... Bill?
In this moment, M couldn't hold it back. So he was clearly listening.
I am one member of the Bill family, to be clear. My name is Gaspit Bill. Please don't confuse me with Rarpit, Garpit, or Raspit Bill.
With a slight smirk on his face, Rhy Shen approached the fire.
However, thanks for saving my speech bug.
It was shouting insults. I mean, bad words. Speech bugs shouldn't do that.
The lizard scratched its bold head.
I'll handle that problem. Thanks anyway. Where were you heading before the wave struck?
Gaspé Bill clicked his tongue with restraint.
We were collecting shells from the ever-dry beach, but we must have gone too far east. Our group didn't make it back to the safe line before the wave came. We were a little too greedy. The further you go, the better the catch, they say. The others have probably drowned, or if not, they'll get eaten by forest wolves for sure. Too sad. They were also my cousins.
Rhy Shen held his breath for a moment, taken aback by Gaspé Bill's casual tone.
Sounds like you have a lot of... cousins?
We have a big family. Life is short, you know. Speaking of which, I suppose you are on your way to the twin capital, since you came from the south, and there is nothing in the east and nothing in the west from here.
Rhy Shen nodded slightly.
I could use some help to get there. They closed the city for mortals, but we Bills are too clever to be held out by rules. I'll show you how we get in. You go after me.
Garpit Bill roamed through his pockets and took out a glowing, round pill.
What are you doing?
You mean, what are we doing? Here, this one's for you.
Rhy Shen stared at the pill in his hands, not sure what to do, but absolutely sure that this lizard was too insane to be trusted. Garpit held his rounded snout up in the air and took a long, relaxed breath through the nostrils. Then he swallowed the pill with a sly smile.
Watch closely.
Nothing happened.
That was the 9 Lives Ghost Fang Death Pill. Wake me up in 5 minutes.
He rolled up his eyes. Enough said. Then his tail began to twitch, writhe, and suddenly, it detached from his body. Garpit Bill's scales drained to chalk white, while his pupils vanished from his wide eyes.
Keep the tail.
Stiff as a puppet, he toppled backward and landed flat on his back, limbs splayed into the air like a marionette.
What the hell is happening now?
All good. 5 minutes.
This must be another fucking joke of this world. I can hear you laughing, Em.